Soul Fusion Cafe, your place for radiant wellness and soul-forward living. Join your host, Jess Juntinen, quantum healer, intuitive, and midwife to the awakening spirit, as we dive into quantum tools, wisdom teachings, and integrated healing pathways for transformation. You can live a life of freedom to be without limitation. Cozy up, grab your tea, and enjoy this hour of expansion, wisdom, and love. Namaste, hello, and welcome to Soul Fusion Cafe. I'm Jess Juntinen. I'm going to adjust this a bit so you can see the incredible art that's behind me for today's episode of Soul Fusion Cafe, live from Tosa Blue Mountain, Ecuador, coming to you here on this Tuesday at noon Eastern Time, every Tuesday right here with Soul Fusion Cafe. It is an incredible moment, and you know what? I just kind of want to shift a little bit there. My light is so much better. I'm feeling, there we go. So on this incredible, amazing moment and day, notice what you're feeling is alive inside of you as you unlock that next level that's present within all of us. We are all here to do something that's bigger than ourselves, at least those of us that are connecting in this time and place and way. I know you have a knowing inside of you that you are here to do something for yourself and for the world, that you have that calling. And it really is the moment to honor that, to really say, if there anywhere I'm holding back where I could be showing my true self, because it's going to hurt if we aren't being our true self. That's actually going to become more uncomfortable than showing up and doing what we're here to do with our gifts. And your gifts are your unique gifts. You are, only you are the being that knows what is inside of your heart and soul, that's here to contribute to our beautiful planet, to this beautiful moment. And if you don't have clarity around that, that's okay too. Sometimes we are finding our way to what we feel our purpose is. And it is that opportunity. If we're like, well, I know I'm here for more, but I just don't really have my clarity around what that looks like or needs to be like. You're not alone. You're not the only person that feels this way. And I can guarantee you that through just maintaining a level of trust and knowing that it's being revealed to you, that it will be, and actually make the action steps towards discovering, like you remember, like one of the most potent steps you can take is to let yourself just set a timer and go into a kind of meditative flow where you just allow yourself to connect with the inner child. What did he or she love to do when they were young? What did they love to create? What did they feel really passionate about? And set a timer and let yourself just kind of go back in time. Maybe even just let yourself be in some free form kind of play. Get out pens and crayons and paper and paint and just have fun and let yourself tap into that part of you that does have those memories, because sometimes we go through it. We go through this life. We go through experiences that make it very difficult for us to remember our truth. That's part of the density experience, is that we lose the truth of who we are so often because we're invited constantly to doubt our truth and divinity. So it is the moment to actually rediscover and remember the truth of who we are. So if you're in that boat of like, I'm not exactly even sure what that means or what I'm here to do, but I know I'm here for something, really invite you to be in that trust yourself, trust your place, trust your space. And I like have got to show you guys the view. I'm at the yoga studio in Ecuador. Check it out. I mean, I don't know if I can sit in front of that view without it being like a total silhouette, but it's so gorgeous that it would be wonderful if I could provide you this for the whole show. Yeah, I'm too dark. But isn't that beautiful? I'm going to show you another little spin around. Like, wow. Like, this is the most incredible place, view on the entire planet. Isn't that fabulous? So I wish I could have that view in the background without it having a shadow on my face, but breathing that in and knowing that, it's a miraculous thing to be able to connect from anywhere on the planet with everybody and to really be in connection there. That's better too. So it's always fun trying to figure out, where you're going to film and how you're going to film things as you are moving through different spaces and times. But really we've been talking about this level of trusting your own gifts, trusting where you are, trusting that within you, your deeper purpose for being here. And, it probably will surprise you, like how simple it is to bring your hand to your heart and just connect. And just say, I am here, I am ready, I'm open, guide me. That simple mantra, and just invite whatever comes forward. And have some fun and go into future visioning. We talked about really being connected with the child and what they knew was true and what they loved doing. Also go forward, take a time in a moment to meditate and connect with your future self, feeling completely fulfilled, completely happy, supported, the perfect day, and connect with like what got me here, what got me here. Because usually the answer, like I said, is so simple. It's staring us in the face. You think you have to have all these specifics, but it might just really boil down to like, you're here to spread love, you're here to increase the peace, you're here to support the, consciousness. And how you do that is unique and it's yours. And you might have particular gifts as an artist or a teacher or, some other way that you are supporting people, or your mom, your daughter. What are the different ways that you are supporting your community? Where do you feel drawn and passionate about offering support? When does your cup feel the most full? Because it is that time. It's like, we have to be using our gifts and really be in that openness of receiving and giving at the same time, being receptive to that flow of receiving and giving, open hands, right? Because as Master Lady Kira shares, that when our hands are closed, how can you receive, right? And how are you going to give? So it's breathing and relaxing. It is that moment of balance of what am I receiving and giving? And it's your time, like bring your gifts forward, bring forward the radiance of you, even if you're sharing with like one person or 10 people or 1,000, it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Let go of that. It's like if you support one being just through the gifts that you share, you're opening the portal for so many others, So start with the one that you are helping, and that very well starts with you, right? How are you supporting you? How are you loving you more? Because if we are not able to be in that unconditional love for ourselves, we all know this, right? You cannot offer that to another. So, it's been June was this second gate of the year of this expansionary energy, and it was all about the unconditional love you more. And that's what continues as we go through July and August. It's like, how can you love you more and really support yourself? And how can you, uh, through that, see how you can be of greater service to the world and all others, you know? So when you really feel into like, why am I here? It's probably simpler than your mind wants it to be. And everything is going to come in front of you today and every day this month. It's like everything in one. There's all of this excitement and expansion, and then everything that seeks to stop it that comes forward uh, to try to prevent that expansion from happening, because the ego itself is so afraid. It's so afraid that you're going to grow, that you're going to change, that you're going to expand. And because of that fear, it's going to throw every narrative and every story it can in front of you in order to keep you from absolutely recognizing and receiving uh, the truth of your being. It's like, you know, it becomes really tricky because the ego is sophisticated. It's not black and white. And it's also, we cannot think of the ego as being bad. You know, it becomes this dirty word if, you know, you point out somebody's ego's at play, and it's like, and someone points it out to you, it's like the ego doesn't like that. You know, so I think it's getting rid of any remaining belief that it's bad to have an ego or the ego is bad. You have to have one to be here. In fact, in order to lift your consciousness, you only need like, if you have like 100%, you know, ego running, of course you don't get there. If you can get yourself down to 97% of your ego operating systems, you have enough opening to up level your consciousness. It's like a 3%, you know, so that always brings me some comfort when wisdom teacher Sri Ramka shares that, because it's like, we aren't gonna like get our ego down to zero. Like if you could get your ego down to 95%, you would be like a rock and ascended master, right? I mean, it's like almost comforting to know that it's not this huge thing. So the ego is so subtle. I've been watching it in many, many different ways in my own self and others. So we are at this up level moment. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Tomorrow night, July 13th, or whenever you're catching this recording, is the full moon ceremony. And this is, I pray you are there. I pray you register. You can register for as little as $1. Go to shriankira.com and get yourself set up, because, and spread the word, because this is a lineage holder, global meditation for humanity. This is a moment where we can affect the outcome for humanity. And that's what you're doing every day with your choice. And whenever you're choosing, you know, love and freedom over fear and entrapment, you know, you're making a choice for humanity. You're helping people without even realizing it. So when you try to like think about, what am I here to do? You know, it's to be you. It's to be you and radiate that, and you're having the biggest impact. You know, and the ego, so sophisticated. You know, I was having a conversation with somebody, like a week ago or so. It's a good example where it was somebody that I mentored, that that did ask to receive mentoring. It wasn't uninvited, and they really went through a moment. You know, and I had to release that mentoring relationship too, just because that's as far as I could take them, you know, and that's all beautiful. And that this person, this being, actually self, like felt they were identified with their higher self and selected to leave behind an opportunity and a dream that was all in front of them. They were already living in the opportunity and receiving so many blessings, and like on their way, like this was part of like their dream, and they were so excited about it. And then over a little, this is like what happens, right? Our soul is like, yes, we're doing the thing we're here to do. And away we go. And then the ego starts to say, wait a minute. And it starts to list off different reasons why you shouldn't be so darn happy or why this isn't so great. And this being, they allowed their whole opportunity to disintegrate like completely because they chose to listen to their ego. And at the end of the day, even when that was lovingly brought to the table, that was met with such a level of ego resistance. And you just bless and love and let people, let each being have their experience. However, it's like one more experience where I have seen that happen where somebody had everything in front of them. They had everything that they needed to grow, to know, to be, and they threw it all away. And they thought it was their soul talking to them. That was like the key point, was that they didn't see that they had any resistance or fear. And this happens to so many of us. It's why it's just a perfect example. And then the ego's been bargaining, right? It's been like, no, well, you see, this is not in alignment for us. Our dream and what we are doing here, no, no, no. Like, you thought that that's what it was. You thought it was so great. But hey, look, you're uncomfortable because you're growing, you're being asked to stretch, you're being asked to question some of your beliefs, and now you're feeling like you're not very much in alignment anymore. And it's just kind of funny because we allow the ego to come in and convince us so amazingly that it makes total sense. It's so sophisticated, and you think, no, yeah, it's really not in alignment for me anymore. I'm just feeling it's not the right thing. I'm feeling, and that's kind of like a kickoff to like, it is when it's like, I am feeling this way, I'm feeling not in alignment. Well, your ego's not feeling in alignment. It's very uncomfortable and giving you every reason under the sun to stop moving forward with your dreams. And it will do that anytime you are reaching and stretching out of your comfort zone. It's going to come in and say, wait, maybe not such a good idea. And you will start to really actually believe it. It's so hypnotic and it's so sneaky, and it does use our spiritual vision and understandings against us. It will say, hey, really, yeah, this is not in alignment for me. It's not feeling so good in my heart. I don't think this is a great idea. And we go, yeah, that's right. I'm going to quit. I'm going to, that feels like the right thing to do. And I mean, there really is no wrong. There's no wrong, this being that stepped away from like their biggest dream in the world. Yes, that's part of my like human attachment. Oh, like, you want to see people go where you see it's possible for them. And if you're a healer out there, everyone's a healer, so you are a healer out there. It's like always that lesson of just letting each have their own path, but it is an integrity to, if somebody's in a relationship with you and you're a healer too, to like point out where you do see things with love, if you see that their ego's at play or anything else, but you never give that uninvited to anybody, of course. However, it's like you have to let people like do what they're going to do, and not be attached. That's always the biggest lesson is a being that cares on this planet, right, is to free others to their own path. But it doesn't mean that you don't love them, that you don't sometimes, like when it's appropriate, if you have that kind of relationship with them, that they've asked for your input, that you do share with them when you see. It's like able to point that out to me. If I'm the people I love and care about, I would like them to point it out to me, so it's always that dance of like, you're not doing it unsolicited to just anybody, but if somebody's asked for your input or is in a relationship with you like that, then it is important that you do share with them truthfully when you see something and call them on it, and then this case, and it's happened other times, is like even lovingly pointing it out. It's just like the ego races up and says, how dare you say it was me? It was not me. No, I know what I am doing, And it's like, it's fine. It's like all good. But it's one of those examples of, you know, the further along we are on the path, almost the more dangerous the ego can become, because it aligns its language and its attachments to our spiritual language, and what we learn when we up level. And then it has that languaging, and then it just believes that, like, yes, this is the spiritual body speaking. And it gets really, it gets confusing. It gets confusing out there. And have mercy on yourself. Like, that's the biggest message. Have mercy on yourself. I'm seeing some beautiful love and light. Oh, thank you for liking the color purple. And hey, Angel and Jill and Gary, loving you all. Everyone else that's over in the chat or just watching at YouTube and at Facebook, thank you so much. It's so incredible. And I love how much you guys all give each other love in the chat. You know, that's just a really beautiful thing to see and share. You know, and to me in this up level moment, it's like, it's taking everything from us, our sincerity, our love, our presence, to really stay the course, to really say, like, I said yes, and I'm like gonna keep saying yes, and to really be honest with yourself. Like, is my ego at play? You know, like this example I gave. I know mine's been at play many times, where it just, you know, whispers its favorite little stories, sometimes with a twist in our ear. And you're seeing it everywhere out in the world. And it's like the spiritualized ego is the most dangerous form of the ego on the planet. And that's what we are seeing in spades. You know, that's the alignment that says, it's got like a righteousness to it. You know, it says, like, we are doing something together and we identify with each other, and our way is the right way. And so it's no longer just like an ego being all about itself, the personality ego. It's the group ego now. It's the energy together of the group that says, oh my gosh, I'm like looking at, it's like so amazing to sit here in the studio. Sorry if I get distracted, but a condor like just flew by the window, and I'm looking around and there's hummingbirds and flowers and things while I'm talking to you guys. It's so incredible. So excuse me if sometimes I just look off and start seeing something else remarkable happening. You know, but it's that moment, like, oh, the spiritualized ego, you see it so strong, and there's an arrogance. And I mean, I will share, I have spent time in the last 2 years, I've been really walking close with Sri and Kira, right? And been having the blessing, the absolute blessing, so many ways that they share, not only with the world, you know, but with myself and any being that gets to, you know, meet them or be with them. Like, they are just demonstrating that steadfast commitment, focused awareness, complete trust. They're so authentic. And that's why, you know, if anyone's catching the show that hasn't heard of Sri and Kira, I know a lot of our community loves to come here, but, you know, you may have stopped here and never heard of them. And I encourage you, check out their show here at Oneness Talk Radio. It's on every Sunday. And check out their site, shriandkira.com, because what they share is so purely authentic, without a filter of ego. And what I've learned in the last couple of years, I've had many, many opportunities. I've been organizing big events, talking to healers from around the planet, or shows, appointments, all kinds of different things where I'm in contact with people. And, you know, it's almost been disheartening at times, because there's this spiritualized arrogance, you know, is a word that Master Lady Kira Ra, or term that she brought forward, and that's it. So it's so present in so many beings that are here, that are spiritual leaders, that are healers, that are big names out there in the world. And, I'm not saying everybody, but there's just been so many times where um, I've seen it myself firsthand. I've had the incredible experience of meeting and aligning with different beings, and some of them people are big names, right? And to see how much spiritual arrogance there is, that it's like there's so much ego running. It's like you can see it. Like sometimes it's sort of subtle, right? But like, oh my gosh, you can like really see it. And I mean, I'm kind of over it. It's like how many more egos can I encounter? And thank gosh, there's some beings out there that are not letting their ego be dominant. We all have one, like we started out sharing, but it's like, is it having the dominant experience? And what I see with so many is like, they believe, obviously they believe it's coming from spirit or soul. They really do. They believe what they're sharing and their message and who they are is just like pure soul and spirit. And you could never, point anything out to them differently. And to really like witness though the opposite of it, it's like there's still like this undercurrent of greed, competition, and jealousy that is under the surface in so many of these interactions. That reveals itself often over time, that it's just fascinating. And at times it's been a little it's like a little, like you lose a little heart sometimes, because you think, oh my gosh, like um, there's got to be so many beings that they're out here teaching this stuff. They're out here teaching what we're talking about right now. And yet they're so motivated by their own self-interest, and they don't know. And that's where the ego is at its most dangerous, is any of these realms, whether it's spiritual or otherwise, but where you have beings that are organized around certain ideas. It might be spirituality, it might be politics, it might be food you eat, it could be anything. And we've seen plenty of it, right, through the whole COVID nightmare and all of that, that there's like so many beings that loved to polarize and get in their groups about what's right and what's wrong. So that's the essence of spiritual activism and spiritualized ego. It's like we go from like it's just all about me, but now we're aligned with a group, so we're aligned with other spiritual beings, and now it's about the right way to be spiritual. It's about the right way to do your practices. It's about the right way to speak or think or dress. I mean, it's still present there. Or like, it can be around anything, like, yeah, resources, food management, I don't know, you name it. It's like, but it becomes like a bubble of congealed being all in the same frequency of uh, hey, we're here with peace and love. Yeah, I'm here with peace and love, so are you. However, it's so heavily infected with their own insecurities, their own greed, their own jealousy, that it's not from their spiritual self, but it's the most dangerous, because you can't really bring that up to and question that with anybody. So, but the majority of our planet is there. It's in spiritualized ego, whether or not they're talking about matters of the spirit or not. It's this group think, us against them, and our ways right. And there's always someone to validate you, and there's always partners in pain. There's always somebody to go and run to that can say, oh, it's okay, sweetheart, it's okay, like you haven't done anything wrong, or you're fine, or you're right and they're wrong, or whatever. It's having that being that will always uh, also be happy to just validate where you are. And kind of my story that I started with earlier, about this being that had their entire dream in front of them. I mean, crazy, like everything in front of them, the opportunity of a lifetime. And they walked away, a few weeks into really manifesting so much for themselves. And we're just like, no, this is not, it's just not in alignment for me. They let their ego absolutely dictate their experience. And then they found, of course, the people that would affirm or tell them what they were doing was totally, yes, aligned. And there's always beings that are happy. There's always beings that are happy to validate your position or your experience. And, it's, nothing bad or wrong. It's just important to observe and witness so we can observe and witness it and be honest in our own selves. That when we are actually saying, wow, maybe I'm doing that. Maybe I'm actually allowing my ego to kind of dictate my experience right now. And if I notice that's happening, it's not that that's a bad thing. It's like that's amazing to be able to witness. Um, and it's like the ego needs to actually be seen and witnessed in order to calm down. That's the only way. And it will come forward in so many ways. It's like we're all being asked to up level right now. And that is a big deal. There are going to be so many beings that say, no, thank you. I would love things to just be the way they are for me because that's comfortable. Eventually, things get so like just the comfort level of like, hey, I know how to do this, but it's not really great, but I'm comfortable with it. Eventually, that becomes so uncomfortable again that you've got to stretch. It's the way it works. So usually, it will have its own process. However, you can expedite that. You can also be a lot more comfortable once you realize how much of it's your ego. And when you walk through it and you're on the other side, you go, oh my gosh, I can't believe I almost let that stop me because I'm having the most amazing experiences of my life because of saying yes and because of stretching myself. I'm going to hop over to the chat. I see a few questions coming in. Hey, Laura, you will want to register for the meditation. There's no way that we can guarantee that this meditation would be live streamed unless the realms say so. So what Laura's asking about is the July 13th meditation. That's tomorrow night. If you're catching this on Tuesday or Wednesday, get in for the live or just register anyways, even if you missed it for some reason and you got this recording after, because you'll get the recording and there is a second meditation on July 28th. So you absolutely still want to register. So you do want to be registered. Sometimes we do put these things out to the world with Shri and Kira. However, because this is so sacred, the lineage holders, they're really, it needs to be the beings that are very serious about being there. That are those that come together. So I don't know that this is something we just will openly share. That's why we have a registration process, and you really do want to get registered in order to fully participate. Even when we do live streams, it's always great to register because you get to be in the Zoom, in the private Zoom, where you can ask questions, where you can interact with community there. You get recordings. So you always want to do that. And it's a minimum $1 donation. Go to shriandkira.com and you will find it on the homepage. So thank you so much for asking that. Get registered, get registered, get registered. 1,000 points of light will make the difference, and miracles can happen, and we can get to our 1,000 by tomorrow evening, 8 p.m. Eastern time. So get registered as soon as possible. I'm seeing so much beautiful love in the chat. Purple, I love that your seedlings are sprouting. Oh, thank you for sharing that moment with us. I love that you're in the garden and listening and tending your seeds and plants and that your seeds have sprouted. Gary shares the ego I've been working with was a maniac and very obvious how asleep. I was surprised I survived it sometimes. It is amazing what we survive and get through. And it's a testament to our tenacity and how strong our egos can be. And you know what? I think the stronger the ego, the more incredible the gifts on the other side. Like only the ego wants to preserve and persevere so strong to keep things at a status quo. And then it does relax, right? It does over time relax as it gets like, oh, like they've got this. Like I can trust them and like, look at things actually are better. But it needs like that it needs that evidence a few times, but I just chuckle because mine has been a maniac as well. I feel like those with the very strong egos can have the most uh, strong lights as well. Otherwise, why does the ego fight so hard? There is a payoff for like hiding the light. There's a payoff, and you get to remain safe, quote unquote. No one's gonna see you. So I can just totally appreciate that because I could tell you all stories. I got a strong ego. Oh, Paulina, the cards of clarity, holding presence with everything that's gone on in the world, printing and where the cards come from and are printed, it has not been possible. A lot of places cannot get cards printed at this time. So we are working on that. And that's one of those where we just have to remain patient. Yes, we will make the 1,000 points of light, Pauline. Thank you, thank you. Woohoo. Yes, Angel, it's such a good point. If you think of friends or anybody that would love to be part of a global meditation to support themselves and humanity, people always think, what's in it for me? Well, it is going to help you. This global meditation is to help you connect to your true self and to find these answers within you beyond your ego's input, but you can just share in words that resonate for someone that you think would benefit from this, that it's going to help them. And if they in any way feel like they know there's something better for humanity, that there is something possible beyond what we are currently living. I mean, share with beings that know that there's a bigger picture at play. Anybody that may benefit, yes, get the link out there, share it. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you, Pauline, for sharing with your groups. So amazing. It is incredible to have this community and support that we have. I love popping over in the chat and seeing all that love and sharing and questions, and that there's this momentum around lineage holders, because it's like, it's that moment that humanity's sitting at. Like, we've been reinventing ourselves over and over and over again, and sometimes just like inventing ourselves the same way, like just trying to take a little different spin on it. And then it's like we learn that, oh wait, I've been just kind of recreating the same thing. So humanity's been doing that for a while. Like, oh, I'm going to do something different, and then kind of recreating the same thing, just a little different flavor. So this July moment and the July 13 full moon is carrying powerful energy to support our upliftment. And it's very much a mirroring energy. So like, if you aren't anchoring in your higher potential or your highest self, you're going to be feeling the effects of density very strongly. So beings that are just not aware and aren't connected are going to be suffering a lot. They're going to be feeling all of their fear, all of the jealousy, all of the greed, all the competition, all of the victim consciousness is going to be just front and center for so many people, and that's what's trying to get your attention. The planetary thought body is full of all of these energies, and in this moment there really is this kind of like juxtaposition between the two. Is like, which way are you going to go? Are you going to go deeper into that fear, or are you going to lift into that higher consciousness? And humanity's right there. It's like there's so much energy around, like, and gravitational pull towards being in that fear, towards giving up, towards just allowing the ego to take over. It's tough. It's tough out there, and have mercy on yourself if you have moments where you feel like it got you for a minute. The celebration is when you recognize it had me, and now I'm breaking free, and I'm picking me, and I'm picking love. So it's very it's tricky out there. And I see Pauline shared too, that there are light workers, there are beings that have been giving up, and it's true. There are beings that have just said, I'm tired, I'm done. And prayerfully, if we can reach some of them to come tomorrow night, to come Wednesday night, because that's a moment to really come together and feel that solidarity of 1,000 people together. And at the same time, there are so many beings that are awakening and rising, and there are beings that never ever thought about or had the discussions like we're having today. They've never considered it, and they're suddenly having these spontaneous awakenings. I've ran into a few people in my work, and they're just like, they need help. I mean, they really need help because they woke up really, really quickly, but they don't know what to do with it. They don't know where to put that energy yet. They don't know where to expand into something different. They're just like freaking out right now, going, "Oh my God, what do I do? What do I do?" And that's the moment too of like, that's when we have that hand that's outstretched, like, come July 13th, be with us, give them practice, give them something, if they're reaching out and saying, oh my God, like that will start happening to you. If you've been holding your course on your own, you're going to suddenly have some like old friends or family or something say, oh my gosh, like I think Jess knows something about that. Like all of a sudden they're going to have some kind of moment and they're going to reach out to the weirdo of the family, or whatever, and say, what's going on with me, or you're going to experience, if you're a healer, like with an office setting, you're going to experience an uptick in clients that are like newly awakening, saying, oh my God, like I need help. And, there's a beauty in that, but it's also very precarious because there's so many beings out there saying, I'll help you, I'll help you, I'll help you. And how many of them are dictated by spiritualized ego? And everything in the end, yes, is perfect. There's a teacher for everyone, and people need to go through what they need to go through. But to me, that is the clarion call of like, if you are carrying gifts and know you're a healer, however that looks for you, practice, be out there, because there are so many beings out there offering services that are actually causing damage or harm, because they are just so, has nothing to do with the amount of time you've practiced or the amount of degrees on your wall. Like, yes, you want to be, certified and trained, but it has nothing to do with, how flashy those are or any of that. It has everything to do with your integrity, with your sincerity, your love, your presence, holding a glass of water with sincerity, right? The Lost Books of the Essene, they talk about this, holding a glass of water with sincerity, love, and presence, and offering that to another being is to be offering a healing. That is to be offering a moment of connection, and that's all it takes. And that's what we're doing with the pyramids, right? There's going to be a water system that flows through the peace pyramid that beings can come fill their water and drink the water that's been circulating through the system in the pyramid, and it's going to have this higher vibration of consciousness because of being conditioned in the pyramid. The love, the sincerity, all of the vibration that comes in is going to be enjoyed by anybody that drinks that water. Whatever they believe, they're going to be receiving, so it's like, oh my gosh, so the gift of water, and through holding the love and sincerity and offering a glass of water to somebody, you are offering such a healing. And it's time. If you just feel like you've been holding back and you're out there, wondering, should I offer my healing gifts to the world? Yes, you should, because there are all of these beings that are definitely comfortable doing it, that are not always supporting people's upliftment, because they're still operating from so much ego that they're just partnering in pain with those beings that come to them. And again, I mean, everything's perfect and beings have their journey, but why would you hold back on offering the purity of your sincerity, love, and presence, devoid of ego, to those beings that are ready and want to wake up? It's really incredible. So yes, passionate action. Ooh, yeah, comet coming too. There's a lot of energies, a lot of alignments. Comet coming back around. That's awesome. No, Laura, you have You have to register to join the meditation. You have to register. I cannot share if that meditation will be live streamed without registration. I believe this is a closed registration. There's been some times where we do both, but like now, like you need to be registered. So be sure you're registered at shriankira.com for the July 13th. I love that. Purple. For the ones who are now awakening, I call them reinforcements. Activations of second, third wave of light, being to hold the light for the rest that are maybe tired or maybe giving up. The reinforcements that are coming. There are reinforcements coming. I love that. Yes, I agree. I can't agree more. If you know those that feel like they've been giving up, inviting them for this global meditation is such a powerful way to keep them going. And together we are better, Pauline. Absolutely agree. Yes, Shri, 70 years young. He had his birthday party on Sunday. That was an incredible moment, and he felt so very loved. Had a beautiful party for him, and check out last Sunday's show for a lot of updates on the pyramid. So much that's coming forward, and Shri had a lot to share. There was a lot of love celebrating him on his birthday. So go check that out here at Oneness Talk Radio. Yes, thank you, everyone. So much, so much, so much. I know. And if you put the link to register in the chat at YouTube, YouTube filters it out. But if you're watching at YouTube, just go to the show description. I put the link in today's show description. Same for Facebook. If you're either of them, just go to the description for this show right underneath, and you will see a link for registering for Lineage Holder. It's very simple. As little as $1 gets you in. So full moon, like huge full moon. And for those of you that join my full moon ceremonies often, full moon ceremony this month. I'm not going to do a separate ceremony for it. This is going to be the Lineage Holder Global Meditation Gathering is the full moon ceremony. I'm going to be there, and many, many, many of you are going to be there. So please, be there. To me, it does not feel like it's needed to have a separate ceremony because this is the ceremony of the month. So please join me there too with Shri and Kira tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. It is very powerful. And the ensoulment that Shri and Kira delivered this month, just a few days ago, that is now posted at shriankira.com. And in their articles section, it's this incredible ensoulment that came through the T12. And, it's called the Gateway Mastery Presence. I'm pulling it up right now. Again, I can't really put the direct link into YouTube without it filtering it out, but shriankira.com, scroll down the homepage, you'll see like new articles. It's the first one, the Gateway Mastery Presence, the T12 that came through Kira Ra. This message, be with it. Like, really invite you to go be with it. This was really a gift from the archangelic realm and the T12s that this carries such a profound energy. And there's a lot about our presence and how to be in present and how the agenda of the ego's always got this agenda, like first this, then that, then I'll do this, right? That really has us in this grip, trying to control the outcome of things. And that's another really subtle way, your ego's at play when you're like planning for how things have to look or how they have to be. And when that's starting to happen, your ego's in control. You're limiting your expansion by trying to have a plan, by trying to have an agenda, by trying to force an outcome. It's like you're limiting the actual expansion when we do that. And when we are just repeating ourselves and our cycles, it's like notice. And it only takes to be conscious of our breath to break free at any time. So go check out this incredible ensoulment as well. I pray this is such an incredible gift to receive and to really be with. Be with your presence. presence with the capital P, that really does have the answers, that really does have the guidance that you are seeking, that you look for. And it's incredible. We have all these gifts and these touchstones. Get over here to Oneness to different shows. Get to the Lineage Holders Global Meditation tomorrow night. Be with Sri and Kira live on Sundays here. The information's incredible. Join our Monday Magic Minga community. There is so much support that's available, and the resources, and there is a vast legion of beings of archangelic light that are here supporting us. So while, density may be like amping up, hello, consciousness is so alive, and we really must just be in the witness, smile more, laugh more, get rid of the seriousness of like, I need to be serious and like get this done too. You can laugh and dance as you are doing your work in this world. And not only can you should, because so much more is created through our love. I am, right? If I am are the most powerful words that we can say in the universe. I am creating, I am joy, I am love. And we cycle all the way back to where we started in this show, is like taking the action steps on the dreams, on what you believe is real, and what is possible for yourself and humanity, and what you feel drawn to help and support with, and just choose and make a choice and offer your support and your love in the way that is aligned with you and your gifts and your sharing, and explore that. We talked about that too, like how you can kind of explore if you have no idea where to start. Go back to the beginning of the show, we talked about some of that too. It's like, it's okay wherever you're at. If you're just like, okay, I'm just figuring out who I am, I'm just like waking up. Or if you're like, I thought I knew who I was, but now I have zero idea. Welcome to the club. We're all figuring it out. It's all new energy, and we'll never figure it out from our brain anyways. It's about coming into trust, the ego coming into trust with our spirit and our soul, and allowing our spirit and soul to lead us. And for us to also not be hard on ourselves when we falter or have a moment where we feel like we forgot, or our ego was totally in command, or we did something we're not happy with. Don't allow the ego to use that as fuel to beat yourself up about. Love yourself more. Be in the unconditional love. This is a huge moment for ourselves as individuals and as a collective. This is that moment of like, yes, I am here. Yes, I am ready. Yes, I am open. And yes, I am guided. Breathe, pay attention, be present. And I really look forward to being with you all again next week. I should still be here in Ecuador with you then, so that's exciting as well. And for Soul Fusion Cafe, but more importantly, I look forward to being with you tomorrow night at our global consciousness meditation for humanity, and UpLevel and uplifting emotion, for a different kind of event this time than we typically do. So it's going to be really incredible. You want to be there. You want to be part of it. No guarantee we will broadcast this or release this in any way outside of you need to register and be there to get your recording. So get it in there. Subscribe to Oneness Talk Radio so you can see all the other shows here. Give us a like. Be with us. And looking forward to the next time we all connect. I love you all so much. I thank you all for being here, and the love and support you show each other and me really does make a difference. Namaste, and thank you so much.
You've been listening to Soul Fusion Cafe with Jess Juntanen. Connect with Jess and learn more at her inspiration hub, selfascensionstudios.com, and over on Instagram at JoyLoveJess and Soul Fusion Cafe Radio, or over at Facebook at Self Ascension Studios and Soul Fusion Cafe Radio. Thank you for listening. See you next week. Namaste and many blessings.